about. Trying to figure out what it's all about. Existentialist. Am I worth anything or just discount? I don't know. I don't know.
That was the great sounds of JOATA with Outside on WNHH LP 103.5 FM New Haven. Myself, Prestige, with my partner in crime, Long Island raised, Elm City made, EZ Blues is in the building. Easy Blues, you're better with introductions more than me. Who do we have with us today on Behind the Brand?
There's the alpha, there's the omega, there's the beginning, there is the end. We started this episode and every episode since the April episode that we initially had this man on our show. With this man has become a full feature of this show. Not only that, he went from bi-city to bi-coastal to now bi-countries. Gotta love it. Absolutely. He jumped on that midnight train or plane to Cali. Then he jumped across the pond to France. Why? Because he's pushing the envelope of art. He's understanding who he is, and he is fully defining his voice. He went to Cali, put on a hat, and he got a brand new logo, and I love it. I want you to put your hands together, not if you're driving. If you're driving, please keep your hands at 10 and 2, for we want to avoid accidents. But mentally, you can put your hands together for the amazing, someone that it is honor and privilege to call family, JOATA. Hey, brother.
How y'all doing?
Doing well, doing well.
Great.
How have you been?
My voice has sounded like this for the last month.
Well, you just finished up recording a record, so of course you have the strain of
It was
doing
wild.
that.
It was wild.
Well, speaking of the recording,
I'm happy to be back.
Oh, no, it's great to have you. It definitely is great to have you. I know Easy is begging to ask a question, but Easy, I just want to interrupt. I just want to know, how was France? I've never been to France.
That's what the question was.
That was the question. I'm glad we think the same thought. How was France? Because the videos you posted online were really great, especially you skateboarding just across the country. You were having a great time. Tell me about that experience.
The social media is only the good parts, you know. France, it's weird because like I took French when I went to school in Canton, Connecticut, and I took French from 7th grade to 12th grade.
Oh, cool.
And in an ironic or weird, whatever the word is, I felt like when I went to France, I was like, I'm supposed to be here. This is why I took French when I was a kid, you know, and so I can communicate. The French, to me, I mean, being like, I don't want to say international, but like just being across the pond, France is lit. I mean, it's just like the style of life is like the style of life that like I would like. The pace is sort of, it's just like and not to sound anti-American or anything like that, but it's just like when I went out and I'm like, oh, I'm a musician, they're like, oh, you're a musician, like it's a real job. Not this I think music is a real job, but there it's like, oh wow, you do music, you know what I mean? They're a little snooty, you know. It's, I mean, being in New York and being in LA and then being in Paris, like I appreciated and I noticed like if you open with English, they're like, leave me alone. You know what I mean? Like it's like that entitlement of being American is like I fully felt it, and I was like appreciative that I felt it. I'm like, I gotta start with French, you know, or at least like I would say this with any country, like respect your culture. I'm gonna here's my French, but at least I'm trying. Oh, sorry. Here's my French, but at least I'm trying. You know what I mean?
Right.
Sorry.
The food was good? Was the food good?
I didn't. The food was good. It was more. It was healthier. I don't know. That sounds weird, but it was like everything you bought had an A, B, C, D, or F.
Right.
Like it told you before you ate it, like what grade of health this food was. I would say even like, I mean, I saw McDonald's. I went to McDonald's once, you know, and even that, like after I ate it, I didn't feel crappy. You know what I mean? Like I was like the quality of food, the portions are smaller. Food is cheaper.
Wow.
And the quality of food is just like it's another level up. Like it was like it wasn't like baguettes and croissants. Yeah, those were there and they're cheap. Like croissant was like 40 cents. You know what I mean? Not like
Right.
and but when I ate, like I don't know, I felt good. Like I never felt like I'm like, oh, I'm overstuffed, or like what I ate was like not good for me. But I know this is not about food, but it kind of involves food. I did not see one bidet.
What?
I didn't.
Nonsense.
I was looking for it, and but maybe where I was staying, it wasn't, it wasn't available or. But so I stayed in France, in Paris for 4 days. I got super sick. I caught the flu, and like I've never been so sick in my life. It was like. Because right before I left LA, I'm like, you know what? I got to Connecticut, and I was like, I'm gonna go get that bivalent booster. Like, I don't want any problems, And I remember the lady was like, "Oh, do you want the flu shot?" And I'm like, "Nah, I'm good. I haven't gotten the flu in 10 years." I will always remember that. I will always remember that now.
Famous last words.
And because the last time I got the flu, I remember I got super sick. I mean, the flu shot, I got super sick, and I was like, I don't want to get COVID. And I don't want to get the COVID booster and the flu. I'm gonna feel miserable.
Right.
Oh, I felt this. I mean, I was sweating through like.
You were sweating.
I've never sweating through my clothes onto my like Airbnb bed. Like it was rough, dude. And like trying to do that and speak French, like I'm just like my brain. You know what I mean? And my friend Mike came with me. He's filming everything, and it's like. There's like a little documentary coming out about it. You see like a cut of like 4 days. I'm just like, yeah, I can't even I can't move. Like I'm, but we started in Paris, then we went to Eglinton. That's where everything was recorded, which is a town of 4,000 people.
Oh Lord!
And I was hyped because where I went to school, I thought it was small, and it's 9,000 people. I'm like, this is how that, like, and not that I wish I was there right now, but it's like the friendliest, nicest people I have ever, met. I went to that there when I got there, I was extra sick, and my producer brought me to the hospital because I was like, I'm here. I've worked, I'm a waiter here in LA. I'm like, I have worked the last 6 months to get here, and now I'm like, not even like a kilometer away from you, and I'm and I can't see you because I'm sick. So I'm like, I want to go to the hospital. Like, let's get this taken care of. Like, I gotta get better. I can't be in France and not sing. I went to the emergency room in France. He went with me, translated for me. They took care of me. They tested me for everything. Gave me medicine. It was 11 euros. No insurance.
Wow.
Like, and they were like, you're the first American we've seen here in like almost 10 years. You know what I mean? And I'm and the fact to me I always consider myself Puerto Rican, Boricua, So like being like American, I'm like I am American. You know what I mean? Like I mean it was like a very like enlightening thing, I guess. Like, and to the rest of the world, I'm American, And but dude, they took care of me. Like they're like, what do you need? I'm like, I just need. So at the end of the day, I had influenza A, an ear infection, which I've never had in my life, and a throat
my
infection.
goodness.
Ooh. That's rough.
Got those antibiotics 2 days later. I had to. The toughest part was actually I didn't want to get my producer sick, so I wanted to get like influenza A is over there is grippe A, like and it was the hardest thing to find a test for the flu. Literally, I had to look. They're like, "You don't want a COVID test?" I'm like, "No, I want a flu test." Like, you sure? And I'm like, I can't talk, please. I'm like, I just need this to test negative so I can get back to the studio. And it took me like 6 days to test negative. And then finally I was back in the studio. But the first 3 sessions were like this, virtual. And I'm like, how ironic is it that I make it all the way to France? I'm less than a mile away from my producer, and I have to do like a virtual session,
Right. Wow.
But France,
now,
I want to go back. Sorry.
Yeah.
Right. Well, no. How much of that influenced the sound of this new record? Because that's an incredible story,
It is.
you know?
It's funny because Mike, the whole time I was there, Mike was like, because like people were like, why are you in Eclaton? You know, why are you in France?
Mm-hmm.
And I'd be like, I'm recording an album. And Mike was always like, you're so weird, Jose, because like you just say like you're in France from America. Like it's like it's not a bit like you just say, oh, I'm here to record. It's like people are gonna react to that. They're like, wow, you're like, why are you all the way in France? I mean, it influenced it. It made me feel. I mean, not that I felt invincible before, but I'm just like, whoa, getting sick is like a real. You know, it's. I've never been that sick. Like I usually can push through anything, and I was just like, I mean, sleepless nights. It stressed me out, to be honest, because it's like I'm like I sing, so if I don't have my and it made me realize like, damn, if I don't have my voice, I'm in trouble. You know what I mean? Like, and I've been blessed with like a strong voice and stuff like that, and my voice wasn't strong then. You know, I was like, it was when you hear this album, it was very trying times. Not to sound like dramatic about it, but I was like, man, I put so much money and effort into this. I'm here, and now I can't do like the thing that I'm supposed to. You know, the thing that that's that, or the thing that like it was like being like this best skateboarder ever, and someone took your skateboard away. You know what I mean? Like it's like I physically can't. I don't even if I wanted to sing, I don't sound like Jose. You know what I mean? Or JOATA. So it just it made me want it more. You know what I mean? In general, maybe it didn't influence the songs in the sense of like you'll hear it like in the lyrics or whatever. Even though I did finish one song there, but it made me more grateful of what I like the gift that I have, and it made me I don't know want it more. I'm like, let's do this, and then I'm like, because I don't know when I'm 50 or I'm 60, I might not be able to sing anymore. You know what I mean? It can be taken away basically. True. And I'm like,
well, no,
to me, I don't.
Yeah. No, that's one of the key points, really. You know, there was a track by somebody, I think many moons ago, you know, to live like you are dying. And is one of like the best, you know, experience in life. Anytime you've had a close to near death experience, that first cheeseburger after that is the best cheeseburger you've ever had in your life. You know, that first milkshake is the best milkshake you've ever had in your life. And from that point, you were literally at a point where you thought you were never going to be able to do who you are. It's not your job. It's not, you know, a profession. You know, performing in music is who you are. So much so that, you know, you packed up everything and moved several times to continue to chase that journey. I don't say chase a dream. I say chase a journey and to live those aspects. And here you are taking a huge leap of faith, going to France. And instead of crumbling under the pressure, some people might have had a nose sniffle, packed it all up and said, I'll reschedule. You soldiered through, and I want to give you your flowers for that, because that is the true story here. You know, anybody that is reviewing... Don't make me
cry.
I got you. But anyone that is reviewing, you know, this record when it does come out in that type of aspect, they need to know that story. You know, because that is what we are as artists. The true artists are willing to sacrifice everything for their art. And here you are in another country having to be as vulnerable as humanly possible just to get that art out. You know, so I applaud you for that. Seriously.
I always think anybody can do it, you know. That's like at least that's how I think about it. Because everybody's like, "Oh, you went to France," and I'm like, "Yeah, all I did is I went on Expedia and I booked a flight." You know what I mean? Like in my brain, that's how I think about it. You know, like I'm like I booked a flight and I was like, I'm gonna go record in France. I mean, I got lucky because so my producer lived in Brooklyn. He's French, and he's like French and Chilean, and he moved back to France after the pandemic, and he's like, "Oh yeah, I'm in France. Like you can come over here," and I'm like, "I'm coming." You know what I mean? Like literally, I was just like, I'm like, I didn't even think about. I'm like, there's no option. I like recording with you, so I have to go to France now. You know, that's it. That's and it's not like a thought of absolutes so much, but it's just more like I'm like, this is gonna be crazy. You know, like. And when I say crazy, I mean it in like a a positive way. To me, crazy is just like I guess, stimulating. And I'm like, I'm going to France. I've never been to France. Basically, I find excuses to do anything. I'm like, oh, I got to travel across the country. I guess I got to do a tour. You know what I mean? Like, I got to go see my mom.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's like I have to find like rationalize it in my brain. And I mean, it was a lot. You know, like I've never, when you hear the album, there's a lot of. This is the first album. There's no features. It's just me. Every harmony, every harmony you hear, it's me. And it's me, like, I don't know, fighting through, like, I don't know, maybe it's gonna sound gross, but like phlegm, fighting through, like, you know, I'm in, when I learned about France, it's cold. You know what I mean? Like, and it's different because I learned, at least where I was, like, there's an energy crisis there, you know? So people, when you warm up a room, it's not like here in America that the whole apartment's warmed up. I'm like, no, they warm up whatever room they're using. So you walk out of that room, you know, you walk out of that room, and I learned Celsius real quick. You know, I'm like, oh, 12 Celsius, whatever. And I walk out, I'm like, oh, it's brick. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, and I'm like, this is your house. You know what I mean? Like, and, but it made me feel more like human in a sense. Like, there's little things that I really appreciated. I was in Barcelona for a little bit too. And I always bring this up. It's like I washed my clothes and I hung it dry, and for some reason. Me putting that on the line and like it made me appreciate like clothing more. I'm like, all right, if I dirty the shirt, I gotta wait 3 days to wear it again because it's when I washed it, it has to, you know, it has to dry. And that with the food, everything was more. It's not that instant like gratification, like, oh, I'm gonna dry this now. And then I don't know, my clothes felt better. I didn't get that, you know, when you dry your clothes, you're like, ooh, there's a little. You know, I'm like, what did I eat last night? You know what I mean? It slowed everything down. In Egleton, there was an alarm from 12 to 2, literally an alarm in the town that rang off. And at 12 o'clock, everything would close. Like, you can't work from 12 to 2. And as like American as I was, I'd be like, I want to go get food, you know, and they're like, oh, I gotta wait 2 hours, you know, because my sessions would be from like 9 a.m. to like 9 a.m. to like, actually no, they would be like 10 to 2. So I'd get out and like everything would be reopening, and like I was saying before, like that pace, I don't know, I enjoyed that pace, you know. I never felt rushed to do anything. I never felt, number one thing, I never felt overworked. I never felt like my job. I mean, I was there doing my job and doing music, but I felt like nobody there was doing their job because they had to. They enjoyed going to work. They enjoyed like doing their, you know, whatever time they wanted to spend. And that's one thing I miss. Like, I'm already back here. I'm like, man, I'm like, not overworked. It's just like the American way is just like work. And I'm like, bro, like, you gotta enjoy it a little bit. You know what I mean? Even if you enjoy a baguette, or like, the human being needs that, like, that pace and that, like, I don't know, minute to just be like, I'm doing me right now. I'm not doing someone else's dream. I'm not working at, I almost said Caldors. I almost aged myself. I'm not working at like Walmart. You know what I mean? I'm just doing, like, even if I'm sitting down just thinking about like whatever I want to think about, it's whatever I want to think about. And I enjoyed that. I'm not saying Europe is perfect or better or superior. I just think that they have like humanity in their own way figured out, you know.
Right. Oh, and that's the key thing. Look, at the end of the day, on this show, we never pour salt in anyone else's hustle. But there is a key aspect of being able to appreciate what you do, the work that you put in. And we, as a culture, constantly are with that go hustle type of grind. We then start to not being able to appreciate those things. So our quality of life might have shrunken a little bit as our portions get bigger, you know. And I love how you described that it's apportioning not only in the food in which we eat, but in the way we consume energy. So thank you so much for pointing that out. Now, sans that, what was it like skateboarding? And was it like different rules skateboarding in France? You know, was there like
no? I would say so. Skateboarding in France, to me, it's wild. Like, if there's a video, I don't think I posted it on social media. It's like I'm like skateboarding in front of like the Eiffel Tower, and I don't know. In
Mhm.
that moment, then one, I was sick AF, and I don't know. It didn't until I saw the video. I'm like, oh my god! I literally was just skating in front of the Eiffel. You know, like
Mhm.
Barcelona though. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
it's different. It's not vanillized, but it's a skateboarder is like another person, you know. Like I was in the front in
Right.
the Arc of Triumph in Barcelona. I'm skating, like I have a video, and I'm like there's like the cops are there, like, and they don't care. It's just
Mhm.
I don't think I ever saw one no skateboarding sign. You know, it's not
Wow.
villainized. Is that the word I'm looking for? I like
Mhm.
there's a level of respect that it's like I'm not here to like mess anything up or break anything. Barcelona is literally a big skate park. Like everything there, I'm like, how? I'm like, did they know? You know, did they know? You know,
Right.
like I mean, and if I moved anywhere, it would be Spain. Like, it's beautiful,
Mhm.
man. Like it's like the Spanish is different. They're like, oh, where are you from? Immediately, and I spoke Spanish, and I'm like, ooh, and it's like the beach is right there. You know, like everything is there, and like this little, in this little compact space. But neither country, like, they don't care. You know, it's not like here you're not gonna get that angry grandma like yelling at you from the stoop. Like you're skating,
Right.
do you literally? That's how I felt in Europe. Like, do you? You're not breaking anything. You're not bothering people. You know, maybe
Right.
I'm making a little noise, but it's like I could be doing that than like I don't know, heroin in the corner. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
it's like it's like they don't they support it. If anything, they watch. You know, they start
Mhm.
watching. Nobody's calling the cops on you.
And
You
I
know,
hope
it's like
people are
it's like
watching and supporting us on WNHHLP 103.5 FM New Haven, myself, Prestige, with my partner in crime, Long Island Rays, Elm City Made, and the person who's responsible for our theme song, JOATA, on Behind the Brand. JOATA, I hope I didn't lose your train of thought. Go right ahead.
no. The craziest thing about it is that I didn't know this, and then I was there through the World Cup, like from the
Oh,
beginning
Oh,
word.
wow.
to the end, and I was just like, "Allez le bleu." I learned that. That's like go the blue. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
and there's this. I, honestly, I think that every art like it opened me up. And I know I don't want to be like dramatic and I'm like, oh, Jose went
Of
to
course.
Europe and now he thinks somebody else. But it's like it's to be completely honest, it made me I'm like, the US is cool and I love the opportunities that the US gives me. But as a
Mhm.
musician, I'm like, oh man, like this is literally a whole nother world, literally that could be listening to my music. I don't need to be
Mhm.
so focused on the US. You know, there's the West Coast in LA, there's the East Coast, and there's France, like there's Spain, there's Sweden.
Mhm.
It really opened me up, and I'm like, oh, I can be making music. Not that I want to be like a world musician or whatever that's called there, like, but it's like there's other, it's not that it's not here, but there's also other places, and that's what I felt like I got from being in Europe. And I'm like, oh, I can be famous in Spain. You know, I mean, Hendrix got famous in London, England, before he came
Mhm.
to like the States,
Mhm.
and it's stuff like that that I'm like, there's something about Europe that they at least from my experience, everybody experiences life differently. That I felt like they appreciate music. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
I'm not saying that Americans don't. We just we I think that we see it differently. You know, when I say when I tell someone I'm a musician, there's that pause of like, is that your real job? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
Ah.
and I'm like, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that's what I'm doing. You know what I mean? It's like, I'm about to turn 35, and it's like, I don't like that like pause. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
It's like it's not a game. I mean, I'm a musician, and it's cool. Like, it is like I get to have a pretty awesome life for most of it. What
Mhm.
people see, you know what I mean? People don't see like the struggles behind it, and etc. But like that sense of liberty and freedom, I get to experience. Like I get to go to France and go like
Mhm.
but it doesn't come without a cost. Is what I feel like sometimes music is put at like, oh, like you're just doing whatever you want. I'm like, yeah, but I'm sacrificing A, B, and C to do
Right.
this. And in Europe, I just felt like if I was born there and raised there, I would obviously have to sacrifice at all times, but I wouldn't have to do that. Like, there's no pause. You know what I mean? There's that, oh, you're a musician? Awesome. What kind of music do you make? In Europe, what I liked is that when I meet people, they don't ask me what I do. They don't care what you do. They're like, hey, what's up? That's it. You know what I mean? Nobody's judging me about like my job. Nobody's judging me. They're like, we're here at this bar. We're here. Like, we're here wherever we are. I just want to know about you, not about what you do. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. For me, I mean, I'm happy that I don't have to say accountant. No offense to any accountants out there, but it's like, I'm happy that I never have to say like, oh, I work in data entry. You know what I mean? Like, nothing against data entry. It's just not made for my DNA. That's all.
No, and that's a key part, and I really want people to understand that. You know, you even said it early on in this interview when Prestige said, "Oh, it looked great over in France." You're like, "Yeah, that was the interwebs." You know, what you see on social media is the best version of this, and what a lot of people will see or perceive when you state you are a musician, or you know, you say I'm able to live a lifestyle like this. They automatically are like, oh, he's got the big house and, you know, that MTV Cribs lifestyle, when that's not what this is truly about. You know, there are those incredible sacrifices. And that's what we love about doing this show is we get to talk about those. You know, you have given up a lot. You went into places where there was not the support system you have in Connecticut, in Hartford. You've continued to take those risks to advance yourself, but also to really find the best parts of your art. Is there anything that you would have done different, or are you truly enjoying every part of the adventure, even the I got flu sick and should have took my flu shot? You know what I mean?
No, I mean, I always think that, you know, like, to be dramatic, I feel like getting the flu off somewhere albums. No, but I don't regret anything.
Good.
There are moments that I think I should have handled things differently, but I think life is so fragile that like any decision that I would have made differently, I could literally just not be here in general. Like if I, even crossing the street, I mean, crossing Los Angeles streets is nuts. Do not jaywalk in LA. But not like, I don't know. I don't know any other life, so I don't know how to regret anything else because I'm here and I'm just enjoying being here. And that's really it. Like, I don't like the other day someone was like, oh, would you want to like teach music? And or teach like how to make it in music. And to me, I can't teach because the only thing I was saying, just do it. Not like Nike or whatever, but just go for it. You have, I feel like you have more to lose from not going to it. I'm blessed in the sense that like I work, and this is not to toot my own horn. I work really hard. You know what I mean? To do what I want to do. And for me, that's like how I attain that freedom. And for me, it's just, I was in an Uber yesterday and the lady was like, so you're a musician and like my daughter's trying to break into music. Like, how should she do it? And I'm like, go to an open mic. Tell her to go to an open mic because it's like a double-edged sword in a good way. It's like she's gonna be in front of people, so she's gonna get used to being on stage, and she's gonna meet like-minded people. You know what I mean? That's it. It's really I can't. I mean, I don't want to teach like a 90-day course or whatever, like a 7-day course, because I would just be like me repeating. It's kind of like in The Shining when he's like writing the same thing over and over. I would just be like, just do it. Like you're never gonna know unless you do it. It's like when you want to ask a girl on a date, you're never gonna know unless you ask. You know what I mean? It's just like, and I know it's easier said than done, and I know that's oversimplified, but I have things that I wish I handled differently, but I don't have, like, I don't think I have a regret, like, because I don't know if I would be here if any part of my life would have changed. I don't know if we would be having this conversation if any of my life changed. You know what I mean?
No, that is the perspective to have, man. You know, every step has led you to this point, and every step that and therefore is valuable. And I hope
Maybe avoid Spirit Airlines. But at the same time, I'm like, all right, every time I get on Spirit, I'm like, all right, Jose, we gotta make it so we can we cannot take Spirit anymore. You know what I mean? Like, it's the whole basis of my career. Let's get on the United or something. Anything, you know, anything Frontier and Spirit.
There you go.
Not a sponsor.
Not a sponsor. Not a sponsor. No, but that's you know, that's the reality of the whole thing. You know, you're constantly wanting to push forward, you know, because you don't know, one, how good that other pricier airline is until you sit in it, right? You don't know, you know, and now you're like, okay, well, I've got to make it to this point. I've got to get to this point. Back in military training, we lived by the, hey, oh, we're up, we're doing PT. I just have to make it to breakfast. You've made it through breakfast. Now I just have to make it to lunch. You've made it through lunch. Now I just have to make it to dinner. Now bed, repeat cycle. You know, and it becomes that type of reality. And as artists, that is something that I really hold on to as well. You know, we just have to make it through this, just have to make it to this show, get through this set, knock out this show, and then start planning out for the next one. You know, it's getting really, really important. And I hope artists are really paying attention here. Plan out your schedule, definitely plan out your schedule. Make sure your schedule is locked in, but don't ever overlook what you have to do today. You know, because that show, like, I don't care, you have a huge show 3 weeks out. You have a show today that should be your best show. That is your most important show. No matter if you're opening for, you know, Jimi Hendrix and Jim Morrison came back from the dead to do a stadium tour and you're the opening act, but you're doing that next week. Got you. No problem. Today is your most important show because you never know. You never know if they make that connection like that Bill Carpenter, you know, who is so open and loving with their support. You know, they will go above and beyond. And it's so incredible to have that cheering section, especially in those days of playing those empty rooms. What was it like for you coming through those empty rooms? Now, you started doing it younger, so you have a much better perspective of those empty rooms.
So I was reading somewhere, someone was saying, is like, I've opened for big bands. You know, you were there for PNB Rock. You were there. I opened for Explosion to the Sky. If I was going to rethink anything now that I'm older, is those shows are cool for the resume and cool for like my personal, like I'm like, oh, I did it. Sweet. But they don't really help, dude. I'd rather play to a room of like 40 people, 8 people that like they're there for me because they care about me. They care about my well-being. They're gonna buy merch because they care about me as an artist. They like my music and that's cool too, but they're like, I want to see this person do well. So next time I play a show, they're like, oh, let's go see JOATA. Let's go see Shane Penguin. Let's go see them because he made me feel good and I believe in him. And I want him to do well because I believe in him as a human being. And they bring their friends. And that's the way I want to grow. You know, like I got lost a little bit in when I was younger and like, oh, I want to, you know, trying to open for all these big acts. I'm the big act. You know what I mean? Like, you're the big act. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, in your mind, like, you gotta, I hate, not that I hate saying, like, manifest or whatever, but it's like, you've got to treat yourself. If nobody's going to believe in you, if you don't believe in yourself, it's really like, it's absolutely and true. I hate that it's simple. I hate that it's simple because putting it to work is not as simple. You know what I mean? Like, writing it down, it's like, oh yeah, believe in yourself. Cool, you know, but believing in yourself is hard. You know what I mean? And I don't know. That's it, dude. Like you were saying, like right now, like my friend Eliza. So I guess foreshadowing. I have a show in New Haven for the album release, right? And then I just got like offered like one of my dream venues in New York City. This never happened, and I was sending emails a couple days ago, and I was like, you know what? Let's go for it. Who cares? And the only venue that responded to me was this dream venue that I thought of not like emailing, and it's on the 28th. And then I got offered a show in New Hampshire in between that. So, from New Haven to Dover, it's like 3 hours. And then to get back to New York City the next day, it's 5 hours. And I was talking to one of my, this is literally fresh. This is yesterday. And I go to one of my coworkers. I'm like, should I do this? Like, this is like, that's a lot of driving to be like, and to me, I'm like, I think New Haven's going to sell out. These are like, for me, it's like next caliber shows,
Right.
And he's like, why wouldn't you? You're Jose. You know what I mean? And I'm like, and she's like, just don't drink too much. You know what I mean? But it's like, sometimes like it took her shaking me, and I'm like, this is my dream. Why am I second guessing it? You know what I mean? Like, drive the 5 hours. You know what I mean? What else? Like, what else would I be doing? What else would I want to be doing in Dover, New Hampshire, to get back to New York? So it's stuff like that. That's like, I don't know. I do want to say one thing, and I know this is off topic, because I think we're ending soon. So the album was called Beanie, and there was something that Prestige said earlier. I was like, that hat wearing. I never wore hats when I was in the East Coast, like, and I started wearing a beanie because I was working at a deli in Bed-Stuy. Probably the worst job of my life.
Worst job?
Like, worst job, like a deli in Bed-Stuy. I hate making sandwiches. Dude. I never knew that. I just despise making sandwiches. Like anybody that works at Chipotle or any like Subway, or like, I give you like, I will give you like my soul. You know what I mean? Because like people in food in general, but Jesus Christ. Anyways, so I did that for 2 months, and it was just like, this ain't it. You know what I mean? But I'm like, but you gotta get bread. You gotta,
literally.
And so I had to cover my head. So I started wearing a beanie there. And there's something, then I got a purple one, and like purple's my favorite color. And there's something, once I got to LA, that I just kept the beanie on. And I think in my brain it's somewhere like, it's some sense of like defense mechanism that like, it makes me feel safe having that on my head. But it also, like, to me, it represents a simple beanie. It was a $3 beanie, that I got on the street. And to me, it represents just like, I thought when I was on the East Coast that, if I wanted to be an actor, like, oh, he wants to be an actor and all that. There's always this like criticism of every move I made. So I'm not saying LA is better than New York, but to me, it just gave me like that. Like, for moving from Connecticut to New York, it gave me like a new chapter, a new page. Like, moving here, I'm like, I don't know anybody. I can write a pogo stick on the street, and that's the pogo guy. You know what I mean? Like, and it gave me that freedom to just not care. And to me, I don't know. I mean, I always not cared, but like, the beanie for me, that's what it represents. Just like, hey, I couldn't wear hats in the East Coast. I mean, I could, but you know what I mean? Like, and now I can wear a fitted. I can wear an LA fitted, When I bought that LA fitted, how many people hit me up like, oh, you're not even from LA, why do you have an LA fitted? I'm like, it's a hat. Get out of my DMs. You know what I mean? Like it's blue. You know what I mean? Like, I don't like I like the logo. It's cool. The last 2 letters of my last name are LA. You know what I mean? So to me, the beanies represents, in a weird way, like freedom to me. I'm like, I can wear whatever. I can wear whatever shoes I want to wear. I don't care. I just don't care. I just, and maybe that comes with age too. Like, I just like, if you want to criticize my hat wearing, or like, I mean, you're just bored. You know what I mean? Like, you got to find something else to do. You know what I mean? Like, who cares if what I wear on my head, what I wear on my like shoe, like feet. And that's why I want to call it beanie, because it's just, it's so simple. Like, kind of like, I guess what I've been saying this whole time, it's so simple, but it's so like, for me, when I see the purple beanie, it represents something like a new start. I don't want to say like, I don't want to be dramatic and say like a rebirth or something like that, but it's like, this is, anybody can have this beanie. It's kind of what I'm saying. Like, anybody can like get like acquire a beanie, and that's what I feel like I'm doing with getting the two with my music. I want it to be available to everybody. I don't want finances to be a problem. Like, if someone wants a beanie, I'll buy you a beanie. You know what I mean? It's and it's useful. It keeps you warm. It covers your head. Stuff like that. And I want my music to be available to everybody, not just like if you I don't want to have Taylor Swift ticket prices. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
that's not what I'm going. That's not what I know. It's not her fault, but it's like,
Right.
that's not what I'm going for.
Right.
Sorry
No,
to that.
and that's a huge point. It isn't about the huge mountains of gold that will come pile upon you. It is about the art itself, and it is about having that pure connection. There's a huge difference between those that are, we'll say, on the big scale of the industry, the one-hit wonders, and those that have a career. Those that have a career have vested into their fan base, have built a relationship, so they are more than just a single line, a single note, or a phrase you hear in your head over and over and over again. They are a connection the listener has with the artist. Whether that be when this song comes on, it reminds me of hanging out with so-and-so family member that I lost, or, the homie on the corner. Or it's that, I remember watching that Behind the Brand episode, and Walter was talking about how sick he was while recording this dope record, Beanie. And now I've got so much more involved and invested in this as a listener because I know the story of the creation. And that is one of the things that you do beautifully well. One of the big things that I love about you more than anything else is anytime someone purchases a piece of merchandise from you and you have to mail it out, there's always some sort of personalized note in there because you actually care. You know that this isn't just coming from a machine. This is a person, and you know that you're not just now investing in a garment in which you're going to wear. You are investing in the person's growth. You've talked about it a bunch of ways through here, but I really want you to, for those that are listening with their pens and
on WNHHLP 103.5 FM New Haven, myself, Prestige, and my partner in crime, Long Island Rays, Elm City made EZ BlueZ is in the building. JOATA, the person responsible for our theme song, is on Behind the Brand for a third time. Go ahead, EZ BlueZ. Go ahead.
But can you talk about that moment of realization for you, where you started to do that, where you started to be like, hey, seriously, thank you for investing in me?
From the beginning, to be honest, I sucker for handwritten things. I get sad thinking about the day that there'll be a day that I won't be able to do that anymore.
Right.
It's, to me, time is currency. It's as expensive as the euro or expensive as the dollar. It's more expensive. So to me, taking that time to write that note card, it's like I'm telling you, it's like, hey, I took 30. I reflected on how I know you, and I thought of a moment that we met each other, or something that is on my mind for those 30 seconds or a minute, whatever, how long it takes me to write that note card. And it's just a thank you. I don't know. It's human. It's really simple. Like, to me, it's like, hey, like, thanks. You know what I mean? Like, and we get so much junk mail. Literally, like, I send so much mail from I love postcards. We get so much mail that's bills, and it's like, eviction notices. Everything. Nobody gets mail. Nobody's like excited to go to the mailbox anymore. And to me, that's why everything's sent in like a purple bag. You know what I mean? Like, everything's sent in like nobody's used to like, oh, what is this purple package? What is this like green package? It comes down to just that. Like, I want you to go to the mailbox, and when I even order something from Amazon, dude, I'm like out the window. I'm like looking out the window, like, where's that package? And I want to like reflect that excitement on someone else. It's like, hey, I'm waiting for this package from like Jose, or I'm waiting for this postcard, like, or I'm not waiting for it and I get it randomly. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
hey, cool, I got this like all these coupons, and I got this like, go get your teeth cleaned for $10 or whatever. Whatever like junk mail you get and bills you get. Hey, there's this little like postcard of, hey, I was thinking about you. Thank you for thinking about me. I also thought about you.
Yeah. No, that is so dope, and it is so important, and as you're continuing to grow, as you're continuing to evolve. I also love the fact that you said, I'm already sad that I know there's going to come to a time where I'm not going to be able to do that. That is both, a positive affirmation, but also understanding that as you grow and you become more part of the industry, that human side has to go away for a moment. Or you do a lot more of the meet and greet aspects and all that kind of stuff. And there's ways to grow into that. And when we hit that level, we'll have that conversation. We're not going to project right now. But as you are preparing for those next steps, okay, you've had the France adventure, you've had every other adventure. What's the next adventure that you can talk about? And because we are coming to that wrap up type of section, so this is going to be a two-part thing. I want you to tell people about what the next adventure is, but I also want you then to tell everyone how they can connect to you, how they can support you, how they can get in touch with you, and how they can grow with you moving forward. WOATA, the floor is yours.
Send me postcards. I have a PO box now. What's our time limit looking like?
Oh, we're near there. We're definitely near there.
Okay, I'll be quick.
Do your thing. Take your time.
Next thing, release this album, tour cross country. Mm-hmm. The good thing I liked about this album is that I didn't announce it. Maybe you. Nobody knew I was going to France. Because in my head, I'm like, nobody needs to know. You know what I mean? Like, that's like, nobody needs to know there's another album coming out. Like, right. And that's why I feel like the art in this album was better because I didn't have that pressure. I didn't have to be like, oh, I got to sell all these pre-orders. I'm like, no, dude, I put my head down. I worked my butt off, 2 jobs, and I did it. And I didn't have to tell anybody. I didn't have to ask anybody for a hand. And it's not that, like, I'm very grateful. There's so many hands that hold me up. You know what I mean? Right. But it was like, to me, I was like, let's get our hands dirty. I mean, right. And next, I don't know, maybe I want to go back to France. I want to go, like, I want my music not to be in the US. Literally, that's all, there's like a little group in France now that I have. Like, when we went to the bar, they put like my photo up. It was weird, dude. They thought I was like, there's my photos at the bar, you know what I mean? And it's like, I'm like, I can be big in the US and I can also be big in France, Yeah. And for me, just go for it. Everybody, you know what I mean? Just go, I don't want to live a life that when I'm on my deathbed that I'm like, damn, I should have gone to France. I'm like, I want to be like, I went to France. I have no money. You know what I mean? Like, it's not about money. Right. It literally, like, I come from like the projects, it's not about money. It's just like, if you put it out there and just go for it, right, you'll get some form of it. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, that's really it. I went on there because I think we're running out of time, but it's like,
how can people get in contact with you? How can people follow you?
Yes, at Hola JOATA. JOATA, OTA. Catch me on my show. Listen to the new album. I think we're onto something.
I think you are. It's awesome.
Appreciate you
so much, brother.
I love this. I'm so curious to see, like, you guys have been there from the beginning, and I'm really grateful for that. And I'm curious to see, like, the evolution, the development from like the first episode to the third, and hopefully 4th, 5, and 6.
Definitely.
Thank you.
We'll be all
thank you for always having me.
Definitely.
Always.
We appreciate you, brother, on WNHHLP 103.5 FM, New Haven. Thank you so much, WOATA. Appreciate you, buddy.
Wondering what to write about, trying to figure out what it's all about. Existentialist, am I worth anything or just a scout? I don't know. Spending time all alone, sending my songs to the phone, dreaming of a better home while focused on trying to hone this craft. witchcraft. I hope the brujas let this last.
I don't know if the earth is painted blue. I don't know if that's really you.
I wanna go outside. I wanna go outside. So many folks I've had to ghost. Negative ones the most. The seconds wasted. Never returned. I'm spaceship dreaming of landing home. I'm not alone. Even though we all die, the one thing I fear is time. The seconds.
I wanna go outside. I wanna go outside. I wanna go outside. I wanna go outside.
There's a roadway between a place where trees stand naked and graves lay covered. On both sides, tree limbs stretched across as if to embrace, divided above to the eyes of a face underneath. The roots spread in every direction, connecting all things underground, unfound by the many. But the few who found you are the ones who cover ground. Look around, we built through agriculture. Artists follow the cycles of the moon. Almanac planting, preparing for our doom. Spreading light beams, nomadically grounding in darkness for growth with mushrooms. Sowing seeds for the later. Nurturing relationships for sustainable outcome, coming up from the bottom. Cultivating ceremony around beats and poems from earth to cosmos. We make this place worth living in together. We make this place worth living in together.